Sounds unbelievable, right? Because most of us believe success comes from one big turning point, a golden opportunity, or a history-making decision. But the truth is far from that. Your life doesn't change overnight. It's built from thousands of small choices you make every single day, sometimes as simple as what time you wake up, whether you spend 10 minutes reading a book or scrolling through social media, or whether you get started today or push it off until tomorrow. Here's the problem. So many people dream of achieving something great, but overlook the small steps necessary to actually make that dream real. The phrase, "I'll start tomorrow," slowly becomes the most dangerous enemy of all, silently stealing away our entire lives. And today, I want to tell you a story. The story of a boy full of dreams but completely lost, until he discovered the secret that almost every successful person in the world knows. Trust me, if you stay with me until the end, this could be the very beginning of the biggest change in your life. Ethan lived in a quiet little town. He wasn't the best student in class, but he wasn't bad either. People called him average, and maybe they were right. But deep inside, Ethan carried big dreams. He wanted to be successful, to be recognized, and to build a future that stood out. The problem was, Ethan had a bad habit that kept dragging him down, a lack of discipline. He often started things with tons of excitement, but gave up halfway. Even small tasks like cleaning his room, finishing his homework, or simply sticking to a routine were things he couldn't follow through on. Ethan came up with dozens of big, ambitious plans, but he never finished any of them. Whether it was studying, exercising, or learning a new skill, his favorite line was always, "I'll do it tomorrow." But that tomorrow never came. His family and teachers advised him to live with more discipline, to be more consistent. But those words barely stuck. Because in Ethan's mind, he believed that only huge efforts could create real change. And since he was so afraid of those so-called big efforts, he never started seriously at all. One afternoon, while wandering through the park, Ethan happened to meet Professor Williams, a wise old teacher who was famous in town. He had inspired countless students to become successful. Seeing the frustration and confusion in Ethan's eyes, the professor smiled gently and asked, "Ethan, do you know what the real secret to a successful life is?" Ethan was surprised. He blinked, curious, and nodded. The professor spoke slowly, each word striking directly into Ethan's thoughts. Success isn't the result of one big action in a single day. It's the product of small habits repeated over and over every day. Seeing Ethan still confused, the professor began to tell a story. Many years ago, there was a farmer who planted a bamboo seed in his garden. Every single day, he watered it, tended the soil, and took care of it. A whole year passed and nothing came up. The second year, then the third, the fourth, still nothing changed. Other plants were growing green and tall, but the bamboo seed lay completely still. His neighbors mocked him, saying he was wasting his time, but the farmer didn't give up. He kept believing, he kept caring for it. And then in the fifth year, something miraculous happened. In just 6 short weeks, that bamboo shot up nearly 80 feet tall, which is about 24 meters. The professor smiled and said, "People thought the bamboo seed had done nothing, maybe even rotted away." But in reality, through those 4 years, it had been quietly growing its roots deep into the ground, preparing for a breakthrough that no one could imagine. Professor Williams paused, looked Ethan straight in the eyes, and said, "Life works the same way. The small habits you practice today may seem like they don't change anything, but in truth, they are quietly laying the foundation for your future success." Ethan sat in silence. For the very first time in his life, he realized that he had been waiting for big breakthroughs while ignoring the real power hidden in the smallest daily actions. Lifting his head, his voice trembling, Ethan asked, "Professor, where should I start then?" Professor Williams smiled warmly. "Start with habits so small and simple that you can't possibly make an excuse to avoid them. Let me share with you 7 habits that can completely transform your life. First, wake up earlier than most people. If you wake up just 1 hour earlier every day, in a year you'll gain 365 extra hours. That's more than 15 full days. You can use that time to study, to exercise, or simply to prepare yourself better for the day ahead. Success begins in the morning. Second, read every single day. Just 10 pages a day adds up to at least 12 books in a year. And those 12 books can completely reshape your mindset, expand your knowledge, and open doors to new opportunities. Third, set small goals. Don't wait until you can write an entire novel. Start with 200 words a day. Don't force yourself to spend 2 hours at the gym. Start with just 10 minutes of movement. A single drop of water, repeated every day, eventually becomes an ocean. Fourth, fight procrastination. Every time you feel like putting something off, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take action immediately. Or tell yourself you'll just do it for 2 minutes. Most of the time, once you start, you'll go much further than you thought. Fifth, practice gratitude. Every night, write down 3 things you're grateful for that day. It will change the way you look at life, shifting you from constant complaining to appreciating the little things. Sixth, move your body every day. Don't wait for the perfect workout plan. Even 10 minutes of exercise at home is far better than dreaming about starting tomorrow. A strong body will support a strong mind. Seventh, take control of your phone time. Every time you pick up your phone, ask yourself, is this helping me move forward or just wasting my time? Games, social media, they can swallow hours before you even notice. Set limits and use the rest of your time for things that truly build your future. Ethan listened carefully, each word carving itself into his mind. He had never realized that such small, simple actions could become the foundation of a successful life. But now, in his eyes, there was a spark, the spark of determination. In the months that followed, Ethan began practicing every habit Professor Williams had taught him. At first, nothing seemed to change. He still felt like he was just doing small, boring tasks, but after 3 to 4 months, something remarkable happened. He became more focused on his studies, his grades improved noticeably, his body grew stronger, and most importantly, he started to feel more confident in himself. After a year, Ethan was completely different, disciplined, responsible, and full of energy. He no longer sat around waiting for some vague tomorrow. Ethan had learned that it's the small steps you take every day that create the biggest changes. Years later, Ethan became a successful entrepreneur, admired by many. And when people asked him about his secret to success, he simply smiled and said, "There's no magic trick." Success doesn't come from luck or natural talent. It comes from small habits, repeated consistently every single day. Just like that bamboo tree, your efforts might not be visible right away, but with patience and persistence, the results will exceed anything you could ever imagine. So what about you? What small habit will you start today? Share it in the comments below. And if you think this story is worth spreading, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next lesson.